last week the rain came down, a bit of icy pour. So would you feel the tombstone knocking at our door? The bands they mauled us, left us bruised and sore. A devastating silence, that's what we heard for sure. Gotta shake it off, leave the past behind. There's a green and gold machine coming, messing with our mind. They broke our hearts before, ghosts we gotta face. But we're getting up, this is our time and place. Gotta shake it off, and get back in the fight. We're showing what we're made of, burning through the night. They said we're broken, the team that's lost its way. Remember Lambeau's silence on that soul-crushing day. The headlines scream the doubt, the voices in our head. They say we'll fall again, they wanna see us dead. Gotta shake it off, leave the past behind. There's a green and gold machine coming, messing with our mind. They broke our hearts before, ghosts we gotta face. But we're getting up, this is our time and place. Gotta shake it off, and get back in the fight. We're showing what we're made of, burning through the night. So we shake it off, the loss, the doubt, the pain. Gonna stand tall in the storm and play through the rain. For the star in our helmet and a fight in our soul.
Se va, sáquenme la botella que funda pa' gastarle. Esta noche tú y yo nos vivimos la película. Luces, cámara, la acción, después en mi recámara. En el duelo no se sabe quién ganará. So baile y bye. Ese seguro y retrocede. Que me encanta la manera en que tú lo mueves.
Solo pégate un poquito, mami, que yo quiero enseñarte lo que yo tengo pa' ti. Lo que tengo pa' ti. Sé que te va a encantar.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back. I don't know, something like that. Welcome back to Primetime Studios. Like always, I'm your host, Primetime Phil, and I am hearing like a little bit of an echo. I'm not sure if it's
that was me.
Okay. Like, oh, is that my ear? Is that going on in there? But anyways, like always, I'm your host, Primetime Phil, and like always, my co-host, Gametime Bryan. What's up, Bryan? Welcome back, sir.
Sorry, I had the broadcast on, but I didn't mute it. So that's what you were hearing. Good evening, Primetime Phil, partner in crime. One half of the Time Brothers. Only here can you get the whole version of the Time Brothers. What's going on, man? How are you?
Doing well, man. I asked Bryan to jump on a little bit earlier just because, not in the sense that we're starting this, but, you know, we hadn't talked to each other. We haven't really been able to see since, you know, you had your amazing wedding with the family. You know, things went down on the Cowboy Nation, you know, IRs, things. And so we really haven't been able to really touch on anything. But here we are, man. We're right back again, like, really, like we never left. You know, we're going to talk about this stuff. And whether it's good, whether it's bad, you know how this channel is, and we bring the truth. I like to believe that we bring the truth, you know. Sometimes we may not see a certain outcome, but hell, you know, that's how it is, man. But Gametime, welcome back, sir. Anything you want to say to the folks as we open this up?
Well, you know, I've talked to them. I haven't done as much. I was just telling Phil, I didn't even do a video today, but time kind of slipped by me. My neighbor in the chat, Jimbo, he's not far from me. We got rain rolling in. I needed to get stuff done outside, and I looked at the clock, and I'm like, uh-oh, I need to get a shower. It's 7 o'clock. But no, it's been a whirlwind. You can never really prepare yourself for your first kid to get married. I don't have any daughters, so it was my son, but still, I had some serious emotions. I don't have my mother around. I was very sentimental with that, and my brother, obviously. But, you know, it was just a sentimental, very good day, but I'm not gonna lie, it was very melancholy when it was over. Now he's gone, right? I mean, I'm gonna see him, Phil, but he's gone. He's not in my house.
It's not every day. Like, you don't see him every single. Yeah.
You know, and it's like it just
something's missing. There's a little part of you missing.
Yeah, something's a little missing. You know, but it's not a bad thing. You know, it's
one
just
thing I like is good. as we're talking about everything. One thing is not missing is the nice chat that we have going on here. We got. Of course, Haley Pierce, CZ, Oscar, Coyote. No. I thought I was gonna tie it back in. You know, of course, our cousin Vinny's in the chat. Dirty Sanchez, of course. what I haven't seen this obscure comment that he's said, but I'm pretty sure by now he's a couple of lines into it. So Jay Smooth is in the house. Anybody I'm missing? I apologize.
Linda Conyers is in the house.
There we go.
Clemente Espinoza, my brother. What's up? Oscar Perini, Brooklyn Zone is in the house. What's going on, Oscar?
So I appreciate everybody as they come through. We started a little bit early just because, I mean, I'm eager. I'm eager to get started. We were eager to kind of get talking, whether it's Cowboys, whether it's just life in general. But here we are, man. Dallas Cowboys, week 4. A situation where we you predicted what's going to, before into the season, what was going to kind of happen here. Madden has kind of predicted each game for the Cowboys. I didn't believe it last week, but, you saw how that ended up turning up. Did you do a post-game after that show?
I did not. I didn't do a post-game at all, no. I think I did a live stream the next morning, I believe. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Again, I haven't done as much as I normally do, but I can't worry about that. Tomorrow we'll do some stuff. I'll do some stuff. And obviously Sunday I may even go live, Phil, during the day for a little bit. Not during the Cowboy game, but I may go live, and do a channel member Zoom so we could talk about the 1 o'clock games. It's going to rain all day here. So, listen, last week I should have stuck to my guns, but I was all excited because of the wedding and stuff. I should have just predicted Chicago, but going into last week, it was like, wow, okay,
Chicago hasn't been playing the greatest football either.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I fell back on, and I had as a fairly close game, but and we'll get into this game. We got plenty of time today, but surprise! I got a surprise for everybody, and it's not confident. I ain't gonna tell you, but
you have a question?
Who would have thought? Coming into this week, man, it's like you lose Tyler Booker, you lose CeeDee Lamb. And it's getting a little ridiculous. I know people, no excuses. I'm not making an excuse. I'm just saying
things are sucked, Yeah.
It sucks, man, because it's hard to be able to rebound if you're not at full strength. Super chat. What's up? That dude Rolo. Good evening, Primetime Phil, Gametime Bryan, and everybody. What's up?
What's going on, that dude Rolo? How's it going, man? I appreciate the support for the channel.
Asia.
I have been looking at different programs to see if I can highlight, like I did before. Remember how I had the chat and I could highlight an actual thing that popped up? None of the programs seem to do that right now, and so I can't seem to do, other than putting in a whole chat thing there. So I would love to, kind of parade that a little bit. So I do appreciate that super chat. But when you're talking about that, when I look at that game, man, I was so pissed off at, just again, the defense is where I start to get deflated by. But it's just stuff that we saw where the secondary, what happens when you're playing with certain things and you're putting them in zone instead of putting them in man coverage, and they're already pretty weak, and then they're already out of position. So it's just so much added onto it that just kind of piled on, and it just it makes the defense look terrible. And they're talking about fixing it, but it's just, unless you're going to do 3 high safety, I don't really see how you're fixing that. But again, the defense is really kind of where I was depleted. And don't get me wrong, the offense had its own shit where I was just like, it's going to have to be a shootout every single week when you have something like that. So the fact that you can't get in a shootout, it just sucks. And the fact that they had to get away from the running game that was successful, even kind of falls further down. So again, a bunch of layers adding on to the defeat last week.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm not getting the getting the feedback I want from my defensive coordinator. Some of the things I'm hearing, about this, about players, and I'm sure we'll get into it. I don't know what to think. I don't know what to think with our defense.
In general, I don't know who you're gonna put in there. Again, you need personnel. You just need personnel, period. And I don't care who you're putting in there. If you don't have the right personnel already, it's not going to work. And if the front office is not willing to go out there and get Stephon Gilmore, Stephon Gilmore is washed. Well, guess what, man? It's definitely better than what we've been having in the rotation. I've talked about, where you look back at the college film, if we talked about in general film, I'm not saying Wanye Thomas is an all-star pro, but his history has shown that he can defend the backfield there and make interceptions and make plays. And when I see guys like Donovan Wilson that are constantly getting just whiffing and it's just like, what are we doing here? It's just, if I'm a, and I'm not saying that it's a solution, but if you're putting Wilson at linebacker, it makes it a lot more sense than putting him back there with all that field to cover. And when that's not one of his strong suits, you know, he got to have more of a Roy Williams. Remember how he was a hard-hitting guy,
absolutely.
but couldn't cover really as well. So I mean, you kind of have the same situation there.
Yeah. And
Asia.
again, what's that?
No, I was just saying hi to Asia. You got
We're,
Elena Walker, Jesse, everybody's coming in. I appreciate it.
Everybody's acting like, you know, that playing a too high zone defense is hard. That's, I don't know, Phil, you played football. It's not one of the most basic things you could do.
Let me just tell you one thing. I love zone defense because I could pick it apart. That's the one defense, because man coverage is unpredictable. There's nowhere that I can predict to go. At least if I go to the line of scrimmage, I can kind of envision the routes being ran and where they're going to be. So if you're a good quarterback and you can envision that stuff out there, you already know predetermined by snap where you're going. Where on man coverage, you're having to actually read the defense and find the open man within the zone that's all moving. You understand? All moving parts, so making it confusing that if I make a shot, if I throw it in a certain direction, maybe somebody was moving in a direction that I did not see. You know, instead of zone where everybody's sitting there moving in a little area, now I can kind of definitely pick it apart as a quarterback. So I just think, to me, when you're running that and you're running it 100% of the time, it's just easy pickings. Let's just say easy pickings. Chris Dooley with a super chat says, Time Brothers powers activated. Gearing up for the trip to Florida next week. Oh, wow. Finger crossed I'll be able to work some magic for
Wow, yo.
Nice.
Chris Dooley, if you could get a video of Sting saying something about the Time Brothers, dude, even better. Game Time, Bryan, and Primetime Phil, we are big time wrestling fans. Maybe you could say, hey, yo, I have this, I'm partners with these podcasts and we'd like to bring you on. I know you can't do that, but that would be awesome too. But even have a 15, 20 second drop, huh, Phil?
Yeah,
that would be
yeah,
good.
man,
I know Phil would be including
getting
that
hard.
in everything.
Yeah.
Either way, Chris Dooley, we appreciate that, brother.
Yeah, just a thought.
We
Just a
do.
thought.
We appreciate you even thinking about us. So, again, thank you, man. I appreciate it. One of the best. This is what Mark always told me. One of the best things about YouTube is getting to meet people. And Chris, I know he made a comment to me before. He never thought he would be a paying subscriber, to a Dallas Cowboy channel. But I think once you lift the curtain and look behind a little bit, where it's just not your normal Dallas Cowboy guys. At least I take pride in that. I think maybe that's why our channel is so open to everybody. Again, I like NFL
that's the
football.
big push of why we're not going to be that flagship station kind of thing, just because we're not the raw. We're going to the Super Bowl every single year, and you can post that on there, and it's just not going to be there. It's more of the realistic. We might get sound clips of the other team talking about, hey, look, there's a Cowboy fan, they're talking shit about their own team. You might have more of that. I apologize to Cowboy fans in that sense, but really what it is we're calling out the Joneses. I mean, as fans, I think we've all been frustrated at some point with the Joneses, whether it's been a comment or just just a lack of comment sometimes. Just even when we were talking about free agency and Stephen Jones and them not talking about it, we're like, okay, what are we doing here? So you open your mouth about everything else. You can't open your mouth now, so it's pick and choose, and they got diarrhea of the mouth, and you understand. So anyways, Brian, excuse me.
No, I got my door cracked open. Maybe the wife can close it for me because I got a bug just did a flyby. It's that time of year where bugs are trying to get out of from the cold at night because it's going down into not quite into the 50s. It's probably going into the 50s. So I'll get a flyby every now and again. But our owner. Let's get into it. Our owner. Let's start. I don't know about you, Phil. We haven't really talked, so I've had it with Micah Parsons.
Yeah.
I know everybody goes, oh, you're talking about like both sides of your neck. When he was a Cowboy, yes, I'm going to stick up for him. He was a great pass rusher that frustrated the hell out of us at times. because he, for a leader, right? Some content creators were comparing him to what's his
LT.
name? LT, Lawrence Taylor. And it's kind of like, okay, if you look into numbers, you can kind of take a period of numbers and compare it to anything and say, oh, look how great.
Yeah.
Just use the eye test. The dude never cared about stopping the run unless you ran into his territory. He was a stat chaser. And he came out early in the week and said that there's no hard feelings. Give me a break, but there's no hard feelings. He feels like there's hard feelings with Dallas. Do you believe him that there's no hard feelings, Phil?
I mean, he may not have hard feelings with the fans itself, but yeah, there's definitely some hard feelings because none of it went the way that he wanted to. Let's be real. There has to be. There's that extra. I want to beat him. I feel bad for Dak. All that. I totally get that. To me, it just seems like, again, it's just one of those things. We're not going to be able to get rid of that, narrative for a long time. Let's be real. And every time we go to face each other, whether it's stuff, it's just they've had our number, and just to give them our best player. it just sucks, man.
I don't want to have to give up. Yeah, I agree with you. I don't want to have to give up. I mean, I can't stand Green Bay. Green Bay is my everybody says Eagles. I hate Green Bay worse than Eagles because Green Bay's beating us in the playoffs. I ain't gonna lie. So, I'm not a big Green Bay Packer fan. So, I wish they would have been able to make a deal. We're hearing that they reached out to the Jets.
Yeah, Quinn Williams.
Yeah, for Quinn Williams, but they did not have enough ammo to give us, or weren't interested, right?
Yeah.
So
I would have loved Quinn Williams. I would have loved.
Yeah, as much as I like Kenny Clark, Quinn Williams, that would have been nice. And you got to know that White Cotton was in charge of that.
Yeah, so I thought it was, when those things, when the trade happened, again, what were they before? They were a playoff team. You just gave them some extra stuff. I mean, how many sacks we have is, 1 to 2. Let's be real. At some point there should be a mismatch, and we've been able to, I don't know, man, just sometimes the coverage, just some of the routes, sometimes just some of the little stupid things is where some of that pressure has come from. So I'm hoping, you're putting it together at least for this game. But when you got a guy like Booker out and you're putting in now TJ Bass is in there.
I don't know. That's what I wanted to talk to. Does anybody understand?
Jesse.
Does anybody know if it's TJ Bass or Nate Thomas? Have they come out, Ultra? Have they come out and said anything regarding right guard? I would assume the way Dallas does business, they're not going to jump Nate Thomas for TJ Bass. Me, I would really have thought long and hard about putting Nate Thomas in and still keep a TJ as your backup center / guard at both positions. That's what I would have done. But Ultra says TJ Bass, which kind of that's the MO of the Cowboys. Next man who, that's fine. But Jerry Jones has come out. We said Micah is a little butthurt that he couldn't get a refund for his suite.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that. He's trying to switch with Kenny Clark, see if he can switch suites with him.
And again, I would like nothing more than for his ass to get booed out of the building. I'm sorry.
I think that was the comment. When I saw it, he was just like, I don't think I'll get booed. I think I'll get cheered. And I'm like, I don't know about that. That's not we're not totally pissed off with you, but at the same time, we're not happy with you as well.
And you want a video? Again, you were there for not even your whole rookie contract. I mean, what are you talking about, brother? You were on the right path to being in the Ring of Honor and a Hall of Fame player.
And to be always known as a Cowboy. Yeah. Oh, yeah. He was definitely on the right path.
Again, anybody that says it's not about the money, I don't need to be the highest paid, then what you do, like Vachi, Brian Broad is calling Vach Lombardi Vachi now, like his son. Like Vachi says, well, then you don't have to... all you got to do is tell your agent, I don't want to go anywhere. David Mulugeta, David Magenta, I don't like. You don't have to go anywhere, right? I don't want to leave Dallas, but you know, do what you got to do to get me the most you can. But at the end of the day, Mr. Magenta, I want to be here, right? He did not do that. He talked out both sides of his neck. And I think the final straw, and the reason why we're bringing it up is because it is Micah Parsons.
Well, let's be real. I mean, as much with the agent thing, it was like, whoa, the agent has to do with the thing. Well, guess what? What are you signing with that agent for if you, in the long run, don't care about the money being paid the highest and stuff like that? Because in general, he wasn't that agent doesn't want to be just the guy that says, "Oh, I sign contracts." He wants to be known as the guy that gets the max for his clients and stuff. And think about
Phil,
about T. Higgins. T. Higgins is the only star that actually had to get rid of him to stay where he wanted to stay.
Well, and my thing is to you, I'm sorry. I would feel that it's my duty. I understand what these guys are talking. He was on the Forbes. He's like the #1 agent. He's a power agent. Money's not a problem, right? But not so much the money is an addiction, but staying on the top is an addiction.
To me, it's the relationships. To me, David Mariangela is not good at relationships. And then I'm going to say it, and you can quote me and stuff like that because I don't know the situation at home. So to say that 100%, it's not an accurate opinion. But when I look at it and go, almost every single one of his clients, whether it's Ramsey, whether it's any of these guys, they've all had to go to another team to get paid because what happens? The other team is desperate, hasn't negotiated anything, and is just coming in to try to win. It's like real estate. You know, you're dealing with this real estate agent, and of course they sell the home because somebody's coming out of nowhere and just trying to bid. When the people that they actually been dealing with, obviously it's not working out. You know, they don't agree. Right. We don't agree. And then it's somebody else out of the left field that they haven't dealt with.
I mean, if you're my client, Phil, and I'm David Mulligan, right? And you're my client, you know, I don't think he did this, but I would be like, listen, like, what do you want in the end? Number one, I need to know where your heart is. Is your heart in Dallas? Okay. Well, how much is it worth it to you? I would have to, you know, and then I would lay out. Well, listen, if you stay here, you'll be in a ring of honor. If you do what you've been doing, you will own this town. You will be able to have a relationship with the Joneses, even if Jerry's going to be long gone, Steven and Forehead and whoever else is going to be running the team down the line. You would have thought that they would have explained it. I believe Micah's mom.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt you.
Is well aware, but I'm saying if I were the agent, I would want you to know that. Say, I mean, I get that there's maybe 5 million more out there for you annually, but you know, it's not in Dallas. You know, we got the
thing. When it comes to that, he's the agent of football and not a guidance counselor. He's not going to be his agent once he leaves football, right?
Right.
He's not going to be, you know, so he's going to get his most money while he's playing. Even if he ruins the relationships, he's going to get him the most money because that's when I get paid, not when he's putting his book out after his career, not when he goes and signs with NBC for his whole thing. I don't that he's not going to get any of that money. So he's obviously going to go and ruin those type of things now. So again, I'm not the greatest fan of his.
I just think it's unfortunate.
I think
Micah wasn't smart enough to realize that. Yeah. I'm sorry, Phil. Unless he's just greedy and wanted the last time. I'm sorry, you were not smart enough. You would have made that money up and then some if you would have stayed in Dallas. You sound like, well, Bryan, you sound butthurt.
Elena's correct as well, too. They should have
not butthurt.
They should have signed it way earlier, and so that's on the Joneses as well.
They should have. I get it. I'm not going to argue that. But when the rubber meets the road, I think what the final straw was when they had the medical cleared him to play, and he went and said, well, I want to go get a second opinion.
Yeah. Okay.
And that basically said, you're going to pay me, and
go
I'm
get your
still
second opinion in Green Bay, Wisconsin, mother. You know.
Yeah, and so what we're doing is setting the table as to why. But Jerry Jones then came out this week and said, "Who were we kidding?" And I have his direct quote here. Let me find it here.
I wonder if he took some days and weeks to come up with that shit.
This is Jerry Jones. Well, we didn't exactly win a Super Bowl with Micah Parsons. Let's make no mistake about it. We have huge amounts of experience with anecdotes that we've used on on us for the last 4 years. While he does make great plays, there is also a way to approach playing against Micah, as we know, because we didn't exactly win a Super Bowl. It's disappointing, but it wasn't because of you, Jones tells Parsons, who responds, all I want to do is win. Again, now you're hearing Micah come out in recent weeks saying he's disappointed in his teammates, surprised that nobody is crying and boo-hooing that we didn't keep him. It was a unanimous decision to get rid of him. Amongst the front office. I'm sure there's guys on that team, one being Trayvon Diggs, but again, nobody's butthurt. And I think it's only going to help the team in the long run. Hey, Green Bay may win a Super Bowl. Okay. But I mean, I don't think Dallas would have. That's the key.
Well, we're definitely not going on the trajectory. We had to, in some way, get more draft picks. If it wasn't trading back, if it wasn't any of that stuff, they needed to accumulate more draft picks because you're so lazy about free agency and so insulting to free agents that you have to get it in order for them to not, well, you're stuck. You either go back into the draft next year and we get compensated all, I don't know exactly what all goes into it, but that's the only thing was when they pigeonhole somebody into a corner that they have to sign certain contracts, that's when they want. So, of course, why not add up to that value of getting those draft picks? I mean, I would be all about it. I think this is just about damn time they finally got smart and were able to get at least some value.
And we could sit there and argue, and Jerry says, well, if we, I keep hearing that if we would have been made him available prior to the draft, we would have got more. He goes, well, you would not have got more because
Jerry's no, he would have. He would have got so much more.
At that point, right before the draft picks are like premium. They're worth more. But maybe last year, my only thing about this team is, and West Virginia country boy with the super chat, thank you, brother. Facts, Primetime. He agrees with you. I would say maybe 6 months before the draft. After last season, then you could.
Thank you.
I just think we could do a better job of identifying, okay, who do we want long term or who don't we want, and let's try and get value.
Remember when we talked about this? We talked about, okay, if you pass Micah, who is the next ones? We talked about the kicker. We talked about Tyler Smith. We talked about and they signed like Bland. We talked about Bland. So they signed at least two out of the three guys that we mentioned. Where after that, what's the next contract? It's not for a while unless you're picking somebody up like a George Pickens. But we all kind of have to know he's more on rental. Yeah,
I'm good with waiting on Pickens. I really am.
Well, we have to just kind of go. As much as we might like him, it's his agent. I mean, I got to assume that it's not going to go well. You got to assume that you're not going to get him because, one, they ask him money that's going to go for him because even if he doesn't have an amazing season, he still has the body of work in his past. And secondly, it's just, they're not going to go and do a bidding war, unless he takes a really team-friendly deal, which I think would be just stupid for him to do. And why would he have that agent, again, in that situation?
Yeah, man, it's... I'm actually relieved that he's not. I know that sounds weird because we're not looking great right now, right? But I still think when you look at this young offensive line, that's very exciting to me.
Yes, I love the young pieces in this team. They're building towards the
and the way Guyton is playing, I'm excited. I really am. I understand, but compared to last year and what we've heard in the offseason and what we've seen so far, I'm excited about Tyler Guyton. Again, we talked about it. People don't want to hear it, but we're going to say it.
We need the steps. We need to take the steps. I mean, we haven't been taking. We've been taking steps back.
College football games. Okay, he's a freak of nature with size. Okay, and athleticism. Normally, guys play basketball, right? And that are that size. But he's putting on some muscle, and
well, it's the same way. Like, let me, like easy. When you look at his body of work, what do you think he's going to be next year? That's where I get excited. I get excited about that future. I like what I see. I see little flashes. When I see put some weight on, again, another 20 to 30 pounds is going to be some amazing stuff.
He's got to learn the pro game. He's not going. Yeah. And Phil knows. I mean, he was the third. Easy was the third best pass rusher in the nation. He had 19 and a half sacks. You don't forget, he had multiple moves. Again, he's coming up against beasts, and I don't think the coach is doing him that much favors. But I don't really know. I don't really know. Again, we saw Nolan Smith in Philly had a quiet first year, right? We saw that, and then you saw him develop. Let's give Ezeraku some time to develop. So.
Oh,
listen.
yeah, and I agree. I agree with a lot of those things. I mean, when you look at that, I mean, there's just the guys I want to see more. Jay Smooth says it right off the bat. James Houston, is it James Houston? Yeah, I believe it's James Houston. The pass rusher. I want to see more of him on the field. I just think he's a difference maker. I think he's great at being disciplined. And as much as I love Nealon, I love seeing these guys rotation. I got to look at who's productive, and at the amount of snaps that he's being given. I mean, his production seems to be 75%. So it's I would love to see him in the rotation way more. They got to get out of the. I don't know if they have pet cats or they're just trying to develop or something like that, but I think you need to start out the game with the right personnel out there, and I think he's definitely all the right type of personnel. And and that's, again, I seriously think a 3-4 defense would just change a lot within the scheme. I just don't know how much it would change within your run game that you've definitely improved on. But what do you think on that, on the defense, on the pass rushing and all that? Other than pass, when you go pass easy.
Well, we got Jadeveon Clowney. Okay, we got Clowney coming in.
Right?
I'm excited about having a veteran who plays the pass and the run. Again, I'm excited about him, but he, just because Clowney is up doesn't mean I want to see Clowney down in and down out. And I don't believe that's what it's going to be. I think you're going to have Clowney in on early downs, and I think you need James Houston, you need Ezeraku, you need Marshawn Nealon, you need Dante Fowler. Who's the odd guy out? I don't know.
I say you trade Sam Williams. As much as Sam is he's productive.
I don't know what you can get for Sam Williams. That's the thing.
He has film out there. He's showing that he's improving, and so if you keep him, it's going to be great. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to just trade him off, but again,
I'm fine with it. I know Ultra had high hopes for Sam Williams. I think it's there somewhere. But
it definitely has the potential.
I don't know what's going on. I don't know enough not to know. I don't know what's going on with Sam Williams. He hasn't done much. Is it the knee? I don't know. I mean, I want to be patient with him, but he is in the final year, so you either want to bring him back on another 1-year deal, with low money, maybe $4 or $5 mil. That's what it's going to take to bring him back. If he gets to free agency, somebody's going to take a
I'm definitely going to
flyer
do that,
on
Asia.
him. So. Bobby Schmurder, what's up, brother? How you doing, Bobby Schmurder?
It's Micah's fault for not winning for 30 years.
No, it's not. It's not Micah's fault. But
that's what I'm saying. It's just when I look at that and you see Jerry's thing, I don't look at those losses and go, oh, that's Micah's fault, or we couldn't win with Micah. It's because we didn't have the rest of the team. He's not filling it all out. And so to me, again, as much as Jerry wants to talk about it, it's fact. Yes, we weren't winning with him. We need more collateral a little bit to kind of add some stuff. But at the same time, who's at fault? He is the owner. When it comes down to it, if the lights don't get paid, it wasn't your accountant, it's you. They're the names that's on the building. So Ultra says they will re-sign Sam Williams as he has had most pressure to the team, just like they did with Dorrance Armstrong. And I can see that. I think Sam Williams is definitely a hell of a piece. I just would love to see some consistency out of him. There's some times where you see him and you're like, yes, that's what I want to see. But then there's times where he collapses and he's over he's behind the center instead of keeping his gap integrity. It's just kind of, he's kind of all over the place. Kind of gets too wrapped up into the block and allows them to kind of guide him in places. But other times, you see him just kind of come around. It's hard to block, and he makes a play. So, I don't mind him being being that part. I just would love to see them take that next step level and just be more consistent. I just would love for that to be a position that we don't really have to worry about. When right now it's kind of one of those, Mike is not there, and it's definitely showing.
Yeah, it's showing, but something's amiss. Because even with Micah there, it wasn't
going to. Yeah,
Dante Fowler. So, I mean, I have hope. I mean, I do have hope. Again, they're right where I thought they were going to be. I got a little too excited with how they played against the Eagles, albeit in a loss. I was disappointed in the Giants, but they won. Again, nobody cares that we played the Eagles tough. All we know is we took the L, right? But yet, we're not going to keep it at 100 and go, yeah, but we sucked against the Giants. But we took the W. That's all that matters. You think Jesse gives a shit that he looked good and lost? No. He knows he took the L.
Yeah.
Now, last week, it was a road game. We should have played better, no doubt.
We should have at least been in that game. We should have been at least in that game.
I mean, when I saw on YouTube TV, they have this highlights, and there was like 26 or 32 highlights. It didn't look as bad on the highlights as it did by the score. Like, it didn't look that bad. It looked like they were relatively in the game, but to hear you guys say they weren't, the one frustrating thing was you get down to the inside the 5-yard line and you pass the ball 4 times. I don't understand that.
So
I don't
Jay
understand.
Smooth's asking, hey, Primetime, question. Is Flournoy playing versus Green Bay? I haven't seen any active and inactive yet. Isn't that usually tomorrow by the time we see who's kind of been switched around and everything? So maybe by tomorrow we should be able to kind of see who's been kind of flipped around. I would love to see Flournoy actually get some repetition. I think he should be able to. He's that next man up if it's not Holden, which I could see Flournoy being that guy because it's the trust that Dak has with him, the comfort itself. So I would imagine that would be the move, especially if CeeDee Lamb is out of the lineup or inactive of any kind of, which you would have to imagine. I think they still don't want to say that he's inactive, but but anyways, Bobby Schmurr says he says 1, 2, Mike is coming for you. 3, 4, better lock the door. And then he says, "What's up, guys? I felt your pain for years too, man. It's it's one of those things. That's why we talk about those little bright spots in there, the Bookers, those little those guys that are developing that you can kind of look at. We talked about Span Ford, and now he's doing some amazing blocking in the running scheme.
Yeah, he is. So he is.
That's what we talked about him. We weren't talking about hopefully he can develop into that passer as long as he's developing with the people like Jake Ferguson, and I hate to say it, but Luke Schoonmaker, he has the ability to do it. He just hasn't shown it in the NFL. So I mean, I guess you could teach it. So I'm hoping that Span Ford picks that up. But I love his blocking.
And it's funny, I look at this game and I think there's only one. I think we can win the game. I'm not going to give my prediction yet. I know that sounds weird, but I just feel like this is an upside down year. Down is up is down. But I think we need to play some like 12 personnel type stuff. Mm-hmm. I think I don't think they're going to do it because they never do it. But I kind of think, especially against Mikey, Micah's going to line up in the A gap. You still got Rashawn Gary, but the one thing about Green Bay, their defensive line is not big, right? That's why I was kind of leaning towards
their big piece
Nate
just
Thomas.
left. Yeah, their big piece just left.
They don't have a lot of big beef in the middle. Now, they have great linebackers. And Cooper.
Their edge rushers are good, too.
Yeah, and their edge rushers. But, again, man on man, you should be able to get push. Now, the Green Bay is very good against the run, which is why I would tell you to, play some 12 personnel. If you get to the goal line, bring in Span Ford on one side and Nate Thomas to play the tight end on the other side and goal line. And really, I think Nate Thomas would eat Micah up in a close quarter situation. I don't think Micah can handle him. That's just me. I want to see them run at Micah Parsons. I would love that. Micah's good when he chases down the run, but that's why you have that Span Ford, or you have somebody, a tight end, that's going to come back and just nail him when the play comes back towards this way. I'm just excited to see how this is going to play out. Schottenheimer has to prove me something, Phil. He has to prove me something. I know everybody's talking defense. Bottom line is you can't score 14 points in Chicago in warm weather. You cannot. Bobby Schmurder, should I pay Pickens or Golden this week? I would play Pickens. Golden hasn't done much yet. But who knows? He is playing Dallas. I think I think Pickens has a
God,
better
Bernie
chance to
Sanchez?
score.
Holy cow, dude. uh, Asia, man, trust me, stay strong, girl. Stay strong. Remember, it's just keep yourself busy. Keep yourself in. Linda Connors with a $10 super chat. I appreciate it. Quiet as kept. Fred Johnson was a hero of the Eagles. Oh, Fred? Okay, Fred Johnson. Oh, my bad. Fred Johnson.
Fried.
Yeah. Fried. I put the I in there. Fred Johnson
He's
was
hungry.
the hero of the Eagles versus the Rams. Lane Johnson was out, and Matt Pryor was the turnstile. Yes, I saw that. He came in and did a great job. Fred Johnson anchored the right
He's like,
tackle
enough of this
position
Cowboy shit. Let's get some Eagles
to
in
save
here.
the Eagles and keep the Jalen safe. Well, even that, I want to talk about these guys as well too. The Eagles, the Giants. The
What's up,
you know,
Keegan?
the
How are you,
Commanders as
brother?
well, too. So
He
I
scored a
didn't-
touchdown, no Keegan. So that's all.
Yeah, so
Like
I
in the
mean-
red zone, Pickens for fantasy might be better. That's all.
Yeah, and last week, I mean, when we were talking about it, I mean, the Rams were hotter, and again, they lost that game. They just collapsed, and then the kicking game couldn't get any field goals going on. So you got to give the Eagles credit. That's a great job by coming back and really keep pushing and not getting down, and again, just not refusing to lose the game. So I mean, you got to give them props on that, man. Great victory. It's definitely going to come into play. I mean, if there's a tiebreaker between you and the Rams, guess what? You got home field advantage there. So a great job by them. Now, when you look at what they did as well, I mean, even with the Giants were kind of on the opposite side, kind of coming back down to reality. And now you hear Jackson Dart is going to be starting, right?
Yeah, and again, I don't agree with it.
Doesn't
I'm
necessarily
sorry,
solve their
Jesse.
problems, right?
Hey Asia, how are you? I don't agree with Jackson Dart yet. I would have saved him a little bit, but hey, this is what happens when you don't get the job done and you make decisions for your job rather than the best interest of the quarterback. I would have played Jameis. I would have moved Jackson to the backup. I would have moved Russell to third string for now. If you felt the need, again, I think this is a good thing. I think what they did against Dallas, that's a good. They didn't play great against Kansas City, but again, Kansas City needed a win. I think it's good the Giants take the loss. I actually hope the Giants win some games because I don't want them getting another round of high picks each round. I don't want them getting a top 5 pick because that's how you get deadly good. So, but I do think Giants need to invest in
I think that's what they're doing.
line.
I think Dayball is kind of saving his a little bit, trying to give them a little bit of a brightness. He goes, hey, at least right now I'm developing our future. And that's what I'm doing.
Right. You can't get rid of me now. I got a young guy. Look, he's showing promise. Yada yada. Let us suck.
Yeah, that O-line
No,
is
no,
definitely
Jesse,
a
no.
liability. So I think, what you saw, obviously you got to remember that he was going against a lot of backups as well. So I'm interested to see him, how he develops. You can't just, when he puts it in there, and if he does fourth, don't just judge him off the first couple of games. You kind of really have to give him some time, especially with that O-line. If there's pressure, take that all into consideration. Is he having to deal with pressure in his face? Is he having to make decisions very quickly? So these are all going to have to be things that have to be taken into consideration as they go forward. But putting him in now, I don't think that's such a bad thing. We understand what kind of schedule it is. I mean, unless they started out really hot with Russell, I think that was the only way that they were going to keep him in there for the rest of the whole year. Yeah, it's not like a contract you got to go, well, we have to use them. If we don't use them, then we don't get our money's worth. Screw that, man. The jersey sales alone can get you with Jackson Dart. But now when you look at Washington, of course, wins with their backup quarterback, which we thought, we all kind of knew that was a possibility with that. I didn't see that not being the case against the opponents that they were going against. But as you're seeing these teams play, how are you feeling any different about the teams? Are you they're right on par where you thought they were at?
That's basically, the Eagles have won a couple games I didn't think they would win early in the season. I think I had them losing in Kansas City, but again, when I did my prediction, I didn't realize that the Chiefs weren't going to have either of the receivers.
Oh, Jacob.
So, and that was a close game, right? Kelsey had a drop ball in the end zone. That's things have, but the Eagles last week, I mean, it took not one but 2 blocked field goals to win the game.
Yeah,
I didn't, just looking at some of the highlights from the Rams, Rams made some weird decisions to even go for. I mean, maybe they should have tried to kick field goals earlier in the game.
Yeah, there was a
rather
lot
than
of
go
stuff
for
where
it.
you're just like, man,
There
the
was
Rams,
just a
they just
weird
fell
game,
apart.
but shout
really
out to the
badly.
Eagles.
Yeah,
They
kept
keep
grinding.
winning.
Yep, good for them.
But
I hate it,
again, it sucks. But whatever. They have a tough game this week in Tampa, albeit without Mike Evans. But Eagles
But
are
you know
without
how,
a couple.
yeah, but you know
players.
how Baker Mayfield loves to play against them. He's
Yeah,
playing right
he
now, so
does.
pretty hot, and
He does.
he's very, very loved in Tampa right now. So that's the biggest
Yeah.
thing, and I don't blame them. And I think it's just funny because when we talk about Jackson, they talk about comeback players. They mention him, and I'm like, yeah, I think it's funny because his comeback whole history thing is just that he played for the Browns. He didn't get hurt and was like, devastating injury and came back. He was just played for the Browns. That's what everybody thinks about him being down and a comeback player of the year type of stuff. He played for Carolina and all that kind of. So there was other teams. So I think that's just kind of funny. They always kind of associate him in there with that injury type of award coming back from. But they're playing. I think they're right. I think everybody's on par with exactly where we thought they were going to be in the beginning of the season. So let's go ahead and let's talk about some of these NFL games, right?
Yeah, we're going overseas this week. We are going overseas
to Germany. Right?
Vikings at the Steelers, 9:30 in the morning on the East Coast, 6:30 in the morning out west. My God, the Steelers are a 2.5-point underdog. As the home team, is that where that's at in Germany?
It's in Dublin. No, I think it's
in
Ireland.
Dublin.
It's in Ireland, I think.
Okay, let me go to my.
I'm trying to get it to load. It's not loading for me. Come on.
Yeah, let me.
Yeah, I want to say it's in Ireland. So I want to know it's Dublin. So. Come on.
Let's see.
It's thinking about it.
I'm pulling out my pigskin pick 'em where they have the breakdown. Yeah, so we got. Here we go. Yeah, 9:30 in the morning locks.
Locks. So here's the thing. One thing I missed about the West Coast living on the wind. When you woke up at 10 o'clock, boom, football. Football all day.
Croke Park,
you didn't have to wait till 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Ireland.
Yes. So that's the one thing I definitely miss about it. Yeah, so having football at 9:30 in the morning, I am all about that.
So you got Croke Park, Ireland. Steelers.
And it looks like
the Vikings.
Is it a good game? Did they give them a good game? It looks good on paper, but is it a good game?
They're both 2-1. Steelers
again looking good on paper.
The best. Yeah. So.
Oh man.
Bobby Schmurder with the super chat. My wife is paralyzed. Fell down the stairs. She will be in a hospital for a month, but she has feeling now. Sorry, game time. I've been at the hospital.
Man,
Bobby,
sucks,
I'm so sorry, brother. Bobby, you need to text me, man, or give me a call. I'll answer.
Sorry to hear that.
I'm really sorry to hear that, brother.
At least she survived it and all that,
Yeah. Thoughts and prayers with you, my friend.
Yeah, Aisha, that's how it is too. It's like you gotta keep work busy, family busy,
Go
friends,
Birds.
all that kind of stuff. Everything's busy.
I can't go that far, Bobby, but I hope it's a quick recovery. Go Birds.
So anyway, as we look at these two teams, man, this is I think there's a lot of these games, especially early, not knowing exactly what these teams are going to become. You got Minnesota versus Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is the home team, right? Pittsburgh's the home team. It's weird. I mean, I want to pick Pittsburgh because they actually have a quarterback, but I can't trust Aaron Rodgers will play quarterback correctly. Minnesota does play well in the international games. Man, dang it. Where do you go on this one? I'm going to go Pittsburgh.
Yeah, fuck. I've been so bad with my picks.
Yeah,
I don't have no clue, brother. If I tell you to take Steelers, that means Vikings. I think Vikings win the game. I don't know. I haven't seen the Steelers, so I don't know.
Yeah, the Steelers can look good, but then they can stumble all the way across too. So it's kind of funny. So okay, so let's go.
I want to go Steelers. I'm going Steelers. Okay. Fuck it. Let's go Steelers.
All right. So to our normal games, you got the first one on the NFL.com is Washington versus Atlanta.
Yeah. This is different. This is a different one because last week I had Washington at home. I think Atlanta's desperate this week.
They better be because they look shitty as hell, man.
I think Atlanta's unbelievably desperate. No Scary Terry. No Jaden Daniels. Again, he's out. I'm going to go with the Falcons to win the game.
I'm gonna go Washington just because again I think I've watched some of these Atlanta games and again I think they have the talent to do it. They can turn it on. It would probably be against a Cowboys defense that they would do that. But when you look at that, I mean, I just feel like Washington can attack them a little bit more. So I got to pick Washington on that matchup.
There you go. Chris Dooley's with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I just switched my pick. I had Washington, but something's telling me Atlanta. Well, who the hell knows, man?
All right,
What's
so the
up
next
is
one,
down,
I
down
think
is
this one could be interesting, but it looks one-sided, but it could be interesting
It's
if all of a sudden they get their
one-sided.
shit together. Yeah. So you got the New Orleans Saints going into Buffalo, playing the 3-0 Buffalo Bills, where New Orleans has not won a game. They're 0-3. Is that going to be the continuation? They're going to go into 0-4?
Yes. New Orleans will have a first overall pick this year. Yes.
That's actually not too bold of a comment either, though. You only got a certain amount of teams that are 0-3, and right now they look the shittiest out of all of them.
I would go Buffalo's going to roll at home. That's just me.
Could this be one of those things where Buffalo struggles because they should roll?
Maybe early on. I could see that. I could see New Orleans maybe get, like, oh my God, New Orleans is up 10-3. What? And then.
Well, here's the thing. Like, when I look at certain teams like a Buffalo, nothing against their running back, but when one guy that's a star struggles, where's your other guy to kind of go, oh, I'm going to pick it up and run with the ball and run with it? You don't have that extra guy. That doesn't mean somebody can't step up, but you don't necessarily have that guy. So you could see that, but it's hard to pick against it, so I'm going to go Buffalo as well.
Yeah.
Too.
Buffalo.
All right, so the next one we have a rivalry. I don't know about this one being a rivalry, but Cleveland Browns versus the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, Lions looked phenomenal last week.
They do. After that first, laying an egg, looking crappy as hell in the first week. Past 2 weeks they looked pretty good. I would imagine they would continue it. Looks like they got in a roll. Again, I'm still wondering, that whole going for it on fourth down consistently, whatever. But I got to go Detroit in this matchup as well.
Yeah, I'm going to go Lions here. I think Cleveland had a great game, albeit at home, and they beat the Green Bay Packers, who were having that look-ahead game. This is seems like the Packers were looking ahead. We talked about it last week. That was my upset special. Look out for that, and it did happen. I don't think so this week. I think going into Detroit, one of the tougher places to play. Detroit finally got their act together, and their running game looks phenomenal. It will be interested to see Cleveland Browns, but I think quarterback play, I think Lions are too much for Cleveland at home. I just do.
I agree. All right, so our next one, we got the Tennessee Titans versus the Houston Texans. Both teams are 0-3. Man, that is kind of crazy when you look at Houston and what they had success-wise in the past couple of years. For them to be sitting there, that's kind of crazy, huh?
Yeah, very much so. Very much so.
So when you look at this matchup, to me, it seems like Houston should be the obvious choice and should be able to win this. Unless Houston gets in his own damn way. Let's be real. I mean, Tennessee has weapons. They do have a Tony Pollard. They do have guys. They do have a quarterback that is capable. So I could see them winning it. It just, I feel like Houston is a little bit more established. But what's that really mean with two teams that are 0-3, right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I'm going to go Houston Texans to roll here. I don't think Titans are very good. You're hearing that now that the Titans have put feelers out that their big stud defensive tackle is now on the trading block.
Who's that?
Or Randy McIntyre's guy. What's his name in the middle on the Titans?
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of thinking. The only person I'm thinking of is it's not Montez. It's not
No.
Sweat. It's not from Texas, right? Oh God, I can't even.
Simmons. That's it.
Oh, Justice Simmons. Okay.
No, not
Not
Justin Simmons.
I was thinking the safety. Never mind. Yeah.
No.
I know who you're talking about. I just don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thinking I'm like pointing every single name out. Except for the
Siemens,
person.
as Dirty Sanchez says. Are the Cowboys making you a day smoker, Phil? That would be yes.
You can't get a day drinker
What's
as well.
up, Iris? What's up, brother?
You can't get too wrapped
Jeffrey
up into the
Simmons.
drama that is the Dallas Cowboys. Otherwise,
Now let's
you
talk
would
about Jeffrey
die
Simmons.
when you're in your 30s.
Let's make our pick, and then we'll
Jeffrey,
talk
there
about.
it is, Jeffrey Simmons.
Yeah, let's
More
make our
Justin.
pick, and let's talk about what we think here.
Okay, my bad.
No, I got Houston. Who do you have?
I had Houston as well. I thought Houston.
Okay. Now let's talk about Jeffrey Simmons. Now, we got Kenny Clark, right? Do you still think there's room for a Jeffrey Simmons?
Dude, there's room for another one. Because again, like, unless you're gonna like sign Clark for
What are
a
you willing to
long-term
give
type
up
of
for
thing.
a 28-year-old defensive tackle?
Well, I mean, that's the thing is like right now, I
don't think it
does
would take a 1.
No,
I
I
think
don't think so.
I'm hearing
3.
like a 2 and a 3 or a
Yeah.
2 and a 5, something like that. I would do it. It's going to be a high 2. I don't know. I mean, that's a tough one. Would everybody do that in the chat? I'm curious to see if Ultra would do it.
It'd be hard to walk away from that type of situation, man. It's especially with the comps that picks you get and everything, and how you've been kind of foolish with some of these fourths. Yeah, I mean, I love
would do it,
Osa,
Vinny.
that
I just
whole
don't know
thing.
what we'd have to give up.
Yeah,
That's my thing.
yeah. I think that's a lot of question. I don't want to get rid of these ones, man. I
No.
want to keep
No.
them, you know?
That's why
Right.
I said if I could get it for like a 2 and a 5 or something like that, I would do that.
That's the CZ. I think that's where your numbers are right there. Is what is his contract details? Did he resign?
Well, supposedly,
Did he,
supposedly they would eat most of the contract this year. So you might have it would be at the trade deadline. So most of that guaranteed money, like 35 million of it, will be off the books. So you would get them on the
Jimbo.
cheap this year. Yeah, that's why I asked the question, Drew. But you see in Philly, you have 2 studs. Again, it is what it is. The pass rush will come along.
eventually, yeah.
Plus you got 4 number 1 picks in the next 2 years. You can get yourself a pass
Pass
rusher.
rusher, yeah.
Plus you have money. You can go sign yourself one in the offseason if you want, if you feel the need, which, I don't know. Again, they're going to organically, they're going to generate pressure scheme-wise, right? That's what we're hearing. So we'll
Think
see.
positively. Think positive. Think pressure. Think pressure.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go on to the next one. We got the
Yes.
the Carolina Panthers pull out a win last week and actually
Dominating
look like an actual NFL team.
Just in time for the Cowboys in 2 weeks.
Do you believe for them to
3 weeks.
do that 2 weeks in a row against now a New England team that is also
No.
1-2?
No, I think New England wins the game.
I think New England wins this game. I think Carolina, again, is that same thing where the New York, where you play one game where bam, it's amazing, and then you come back down, you suffer a couple of games, and then you're right back there, boom, you show a little bit of flashing signs and stuff that you're still alive. But yeah, I have
Right.
to go New England as well. I think this next matchup is kind of interesting, though. 2 teams that are on opposite sides of their win categories, but to me could make an interesting game overall. So you have the Los Angeles Chargers going against the New York Giants. Chargers are 3-0, while the Giants are 0-3. How do you see this game going?
I got the Los Angeles Chargers going to 4-0. I think it's going to be a closer game than people think, but ultimately, Chargers by 10.
Yeah, I think when you have these type of games that can grind out and you need a victory at the end, Chargers are kind of built for that. As a slow play, win it, grind it, slow. Yeah. So I think if it's that type of game, they're going to definitely, if somehow Jackson and Dart can come in here and give this offense life, that's big. I mean, especially if you can get quick passes off, quick passes, easy passes, slants, drag routes, things that you're opening yourself to the quarterback. The quarterback can read the defense, what's right in front of him. Everything's in front of him. Make it easy for him. Things out in the flat and stuff. If you can do this where everything's quick, bam, you're going to find a lot of success, especially if you can complement it with that defense. So, I mean, I can see the Giants pulling off this victory. I just still got to see. I got to see Jackson Dart playing with some starters in order to see to really kind of start to get confidence that he's going to be able to do it at that level. So I'm gonna I got to go with the Chargers on this one just because I think it's going to be a grinded out type of game and not a shootout.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree.
All right, so the next one, this one a little bit tougher, I think. Both teams 3-0, but I think both teams have grinded out some victories that, sometimes, people have questioned it. So you got the Philadelphia Eagles going against Tampa over here, coming into Florida, going to Tampa Bay, and playing the Buccaneers. This one, interesting. I think, to me, I think Philly, definitely has a team that can grind it out and beat the Bucs. The Bucs are hot right now. They are playing really good. They're playing very confident behind Baker Mayfield. I want to pick Tampa, but it's hard to pick when Philly's been grinding out those victories and really having the ball bounce their way in a lot of situations. So they're playing hot as well too. So this one to me,
they are, man. They are. So it's that's a tough game. I think it's a toss-up game. I'm going to go with the Eagles.
That's part of me as well too. I want to kind of lean more that way, even though I'm feeling like Tampa Bay seems to can pull those victories out against Philly. It's just this one's a hard one.
It's a tough one. It could go either way.
I think it could. I think it could.
But if I'm picking the game, I think I got to go Eagles
Philly,
until they
they look
lose.
Really, really sloppy. Yeah, I think that's what it is.
I mean, it's hard to argue, right? I mean, they're not looking great, but they're winning. So
that's gonna be a good game.
I think Tampa had a big win last week, and now they're coming home, and everybody's assuming that they're going to win, and they could win, but I'm not going to pick them. I'm going to pick the Eagles.
All right, so then our next one is a first 4 o'clock game, and that is the Indianapolis Colts, 3-0, going into Los Angeles and playing the Rams that are 2-1. Could have been 3-0, but kind of really fell apart, and just now are just on to the next one, right? But how do you see this game going while Indianapolis is looking actually kind of good?
Danny Dimes leading the league right now. He's the MVP candidate, but I like the Rams to roll here.
I think I could see that. I could see the Colts winning and not shocking me that they won and kept their roll going. It's just, when is it going to end? It's not a matter of fact of what's happening. Good for them. Kind of just reminds me of a whole Sam Darnold situation where you're going to be playing amazingly great and you're going stuff, but just can that continue? Can it come back? Yes, exactly. Retro game, Danny back to earth kind of situation. I would have to pick the Rams as well. I just think they're an overall team. It's just the Colts, again, their defense is playing well as too. Very complimentary, so got to give them credit.
Yes. Yep. Yep.
No, and this next one, I think this one's kind of a funny one because you got the Jacksonville Jaguars, the 2-1, going against a 3-0 San Francisco team that, how the hell are they winning some of these games with basically almost feels like no personnel out there? Good for them. Keeping their season alive as they have injuries, and it's you have to question if those guys, when they come back, how long can Christian McCaffrey stay healthy? Those are always questions that you're going to have rotating around your whole team. But when you look at this, I keep picking against San Francisco, and somehow they keep winning. But this week I'm going to pick San Francisco, so you should expect them to lose most likely. So I'm going to pick San Francisco on this, and we'll see what happens.
Brock Purdy has no injury designation, so Brock Purdy is playing. It's a tough game for me. I'm going to go with the 49ers, though, to go to 4-0. And a very weak 4-0, but 4-0 nonetheless.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Especially with that division, you could definitely win it.
Yep.
And you don't have to win. You could probably be 500 and almost win that division, it feels like. Not to say that Seattle won't be great. I mean, those two I think will be, those three teams, they could all be in double digits winning by the end, too, as well, right? Okay, so in the next one, here we go, an AFC matchup that on paper seems like it would be a good one, but when you're looking at the two records, you're like, well, what's going on here? You got the Baltimore Ravens that are 1-2, going against Kansas City that is also 1-2. Two teams that have been easily favored to be Super Bowl favorites going into the season. Man, what a whole different thing by week 4, right?
Yeah.
So I think Kansas City looks weaker. I would have to go Baltimore just matchup, but again, Baltimore has been surprising you and just like surprising you with ways of losing games that they shouldn't.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Ravens to win and win big. I actually like this game. I think the Ravens put a thumping on Kansas City. I like the Ravens. This is one of my the Ravens is one of my biggest picks. I like the more confident them and the Rams this week.
Yeah, understandable.
Yep.
All right, so the next one, you got the Chicago Bears coming off of a hot victory against the Dallas Cowboys, going against the Las Vegas Raiders. Both teams are 1-2.
Tough one, but
it's a tough one. Man, it's peak. Even two good coaches there playing against each other.
yeah, I'm gonna go with the Raiders at home. I think
I
the
want
Bears.
to say the Raiders as well. I
have a feeling. I think we made the Bears look better than they
yeah.
are.
Yeah.
I think the Raiders will get things going.
I think the Bears
And
could still look good, though. It just
Yeah,
depends
they
on how
could.
well. Oh man, that's a hard one. This
The
one's a hard
best.
one.
Yeah, I'm not getting
I'm
caught
gonna go
up
with the
over
Bears.
last
You know what? I'm
week.
gonna go with the Bears. I'm gonna go with the Bears.
I'll go Raiders.
All right. So in this next one, okay, we're gonna go ahead and skip over our Sunday night game. Yeah. 1-2, and we got a primetime game, which makes sense why we do. But we're gonna go to the Monday night game, and we got the Miami Dolphins versus the New York Jets. 2 0-3 teams.
You got
playing...
two Monday night games. This is the first of the
I didn't even
two.
know I gotta click on the other one. Oh, well, there we go.
Yeah.
Okay, there it is.
So this is 7:15. I'm gonna go with the Dolphins to get their first win of the season at home against the New York Football Jets.
I would like to see that as well. This team looks so disorganized, man. These throws are really off, so I want to confidently say that they'll win, but I got no confidence in either one of these teams. I mean, can I predict a tie? If I predict a tie, do I get extra bonus points?
I just don't see the Jets winning. So,
man, I can see the Jets winning more than I see the Dolphins winning, so I'm going to go with the Jets.
yeah, I'm going
But
Dolphins.
I'm
at
hoping
home.
Miami wins it. I am hoping they win it. So anyway, so Denver versus Cincinnati. Cincinnati going
Another
into
easy
Denver.
game for me.
Yeah, I would say Denver is my pick on this one.
Bonix,
but-
baby.
Yeah, so I mean, Cincinnati did look, good, supporting their quarterback and everything, and he did look really good. So I could see Cincinnati being able to do it, but I feel like again, got a great supporting cast for your quarterback in Denver. So I would go Denver on this matchup.
Mile High, we're going Denver, Bonix. Bonix in Denver, baby. Denver, baby.
So yeah, and so then we go back, take it back into time. We go back to that Sunday night football game as we got the Green Bay Packers going against the Dallas
Packers.
Cowboys. Did we need any more drama before this whole Micah Parsons thing happened? No, we have history already. Very recent history, tragic history on our side as well too. They just keep feeling like they keep coming up roses on their side. So when it comes to this matchup, I think, this could go into a lot of different directions, but I think me and Gametime are probably on the same path when it comes to our predictions. So going Gametime, I'm going to go ahead and leave the floor to you and allow you to
We need to change
present.
it up. We're playing crappy because we keep doing it this way. But all right, that's all right.
Hey, I could go first. I think it's still the same
Nah.
result. So
No, it's not. Well, this has been a tough week for me to predict. I kind of feel like we should have been smarter than we were last week when it came to the Cowboys and the Bears. I had Dallas losing to the Bears. I had them losing to the Packers. But I believe that Micah Parsons is bad luck. I do. I think I had a revelation. I did. I had a revelation that our defense played good on Sunday. And I got this game going to overtime. I know my original opinion was Dallas is going to get blown out, right? We saw how much they gave up against Chicago. but you got a Dallas team who's going to slow down the run, right? Everybody's just assuming that a Green Bay, who is banged up, by the way. Green Bay is very banged up on both sides of the ball. I actually think Dallas is going to game plan this up. I think Green Bay does get out, but I think Dallas is able to move the ball. I think it's going to surprise people. Dallas may even get the ball first, go right down, get a touchdown. I just have a weird feeling that Dallas keeps this game close and Aubrey kicks like a 65-yard field goal in overtime to win it. Cowboys 27, Packers 24. Now, again, my first thing was, oh my God, they're going to lose. They're going to get blown out. But again, the Packers are pretty banged up. Desperate teams win in this league. And you saw that the Bears were desperate last week. So I have Dallas winning a close game.
Yeah, Bobby with
feeling.
the super chat says
It don't make
Cheeseheads
sense.
are going to go down this weekend. Man, I hope you're
It
right.
don't make any sense. I can't give you a number or a reason why. I know Drew's probably laughing at me, but listen, I don't have an answer as why. I just feel like we're going to win the game. It's like an ebb and flow thing, kind of like how Green Bay lost last week. I think Micah, and before, if Phil gets his prediction, I think Micah is going to be trying too hard. Okay, I really do. I think Micah is going to be trying too hard. And I think that we could take advantage of that. I want to see Brock Hoffman get up in Micah's face and say some shit. Maybe Micah will pull Jalen Carter and get kicked out of the game. I could see. Would that not be the best? Anyway, now just deflate everybody, Phil. Go ahead and say who you are.
Sorry, man. I apologize, guys. So you go ahead and change channels now.
Fucking dick.
No, man. Let's be real, man. I love my team. I love the Cowboys. I love this offense. I don't, when they sputter, I don't really have the next week. I don't really feel like, okay, well, we're not going to be able to score. I love Javonte Williams. I don't think there should be a split in running backs. I think this whole you're getting pretty equal carries, man. Javonte Williams is our guy. Like, let's roll again. Let's ride those wheels till they fall off. Let's DeMarco Murray him. If he's our back, he's our back. I think we're very productive when he's in there, and if we can slow down the game, I think we definitely have a chance. And I agree with Bryan. I think when Micah tries harder, I think that's when he does worse, and sometimes that's how it is with people.
Right,
and that's with us as well too. I saw that so many times when he would talk and say what he's going to be doing, and he would disappear during the game, and that just tends to be that way. That's sometimes how life throws at you. The harder you try, the worse you do. It's kind of like quicksand, the harder you're struggling, the more you're sinking a little bit.
Yeah.
So when I look at this team, man, I don't have confidence in the defensive secondary. I love that Bland's coming back. I love the Diggs and everything like that. But, when you're putting guys like Elam and you're putting Wilson back there, I think that's just a recipe all year for teams to just you got it at least twice, once every half. Throw it deep. You got to try it deep. Throw it deep. If you get it successful, that means you got to try it. It's like a challenge, a successful challenge for replay. If you don't get it, then you don't try it for the next half. You try it in the next third quarter or fourth quarter. The whole flea flicker, I think all of that stuff is very successful just because people are catching their eyes in the backfield and they're just very inexperienced. So I love the fact that Bland is coming back and Diggs and everything. But again, I need you to consistently put it together for me to feel comfortable. I didn't feel comfortable even if Parsons was on our team right now. I would not feel comfortable with picking the Dallas Cowboys to win this game. Not with how you came out last week. I love the substitute of TJ Bass with Booker. I love TJ Bass and his attitude, and him and Hoffman will do really, really well together. That doesn't mean that that's the answer. It was better than Tyler Biadasz and an injured Zach Martin, but it's not better than a Cooper Beebe and a Booker.
Right.
Just as much as they're injured on the defense, or they're not showing some stuff on the defensive line, we're not showing the greatest things on the offense. So I'm getting very long-winded when it comes to this stuff. I think our defense can hang into this game. I think, if it is anything, it's them struggling with Green Bay. I think we're able to put some points in at the end to kind of make this closer than what it looks like. But I think in the end, Green Bay wins it 31-24. And I think those 24 is just us coming back, trying to scratch and trying to win it at the end.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that. Let me see. This was my original prediction. Oh no, that was last week. My original, but I just have a weird feeling that we're gonna win. My original prediction was 31-27 Green Bay.
Well, that's how the Madden
But
prediction had it is us winning. And last week they had us losing, and I was like, nah, that ain't it. And they've been right every week so far. So
oh, I didn't know that. But
Yeah.
I originally had Dallas losing by 7. But like you said, like an ugly last score, and it looks closer than it really was. But I don't know. I have a weird feeling about this game that it's going to be maybe even a lower scoring game than what I predicted.
I would love that, just because it means that our defense didn't get destroyed.
More of a faster game. And I just have a weird feeling Dallas is going to win the game, and we're going to be like, holy shit, they're 2-2, better than where I thought after 4, and that would be great. Again, we shall see. We shall see.
Okay, so we got a couple of super chats here. Jesse Montanez says 31-17 Green Bay got your number. You lost key players. Sorry. No, and you're right. I mean, not only did we lose key players, we gave them the key players. I mean, like, let's be real. It's just that just sucks. Bobby comes back with Primetime. You have to pick your team every week. Yeah, and I know that's where I feel bad as a Cowboy fan when I don't, but like, that's what makes it real. That's what makes this whole thing. I'm hoping, again, I hope they make me wrong. I want to be the most wrong YouTube person when it comes to that stuff, and them doing amazingly well than being correct in there. But it's just, the body of work is so inconsistent for a Cowboys team that has talent there. I mean, we talk about how young this team is. Of course, there are going to be inconsistencies within that young group. But when your veteran guys like a CeeDee Lamb is inconsistent with, some drop passes, yes, he's owned up to it and everything like that. But still, that's your key guy. That's the guy you're paying millions and millions of dollars to not make those mistakes. And they are making the mistakes. So it's like, even when you have that, it's going to happen. Right now, I guess I love the way that Dak's playing, but it's not going to be every single game he's going to play with like that. So again, when he doesn't play well, are we going to ridicule him and just say, oh, we should trade him and we should do this? And, even though we can't trade him and stuff. So a lot to be unpacked there. A lot to, in general, this game, there's just so much drama involved in this. It's going to be an interesting one to watch. I think there's some interesting football this weekend.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. It's going to be raining here. So like I said, I'll probably stream some during the day for the games. So stay tuned. I'll do something tomorrow as well. Again,
Yeah, ultra. That's correct. That is correct.
So I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. Last week was a busy week. Even when the Eagles stunk, I still believed. Again, Bobby, I have a weird feeling about the game on.
I mean, that's
Sunday.
one of those things. I mean,
I have a weird feeling. I'm not saying it's right. I don't have a number or a stat to prove my point. I don't. This is just a weird, just like last week with Green Bay and Cleveland. I didn't have a stat that could, but I just had a weird feeling. I think Dallas is going to win the game.
No CZ. Right now, I'm watching my Florida State play Virginia. I'm like, oh. So that was my grown-up team was Florida State playing. So no, Penn State and Oregon play tomorrow. So
okay, very good. So, all right.
But no, great broadcast. I think we kind of, we said a lot there. I apologize if we walked around in circles or any of that stuff, guys.
No, we had to get through it, though. I mean, this is an emotional win. This is an emotional game. We had to cover it the way we did and go over the points. And Micah got what he wanted in the end, which was money.
Alabama versus Georgia. I got to go Georgia on that.
Yeah, Alabama's a shell. Phillies just won. I did see that. Now we got to root for the Cincinnati Reds to win. So let's root for them.
Asia, what are you saying here? You said read my comments, but Phil, you got it. Well, here's the thing: is like you got to think positive. You got to change your mindset. That's the biggest thing. I mean, anything you focus on in your mind, hey, my foot hurts. Well, guess what? Your foot's gonna hurt. You got to change your mindset. You got to get out of that, and if you everything, I can't get out of that mindset. Well, then that means you got to change what you're doing every single day. How you wake up in the morning, how you go to sleep, how you talk. I'm alone. Well, go to the park, go to the library, go to places where people talk. People will talk to you as well too. So you got to change your habits as well if you want to change your mentality. So yeah, Dr. Phil coming in there. So I apologize if that's a little bit preachy in that sense, but like that's just how it is. I mean, it's, you know, you put what energy you put out there, that's what's going to come back tenfold. And so definitely try to get out of that negative mindset. Great stream, guys. Good luck this weekend. Yeah, thank you very much, Bobby. We appreciate the super chats. Appreciate all the super chats there.
Yeah, Bobby, I hope that your wife has a swift recovery.
No, Drew, I disagree. I think we are a good football team. We're a really good football team. It's not together. It's not going to be the personnel that a new coach comes in and needs, and you know, you need to work with what it is. So it's a little bit of his weakness. You know, it's like, you know, maybe you need to let these guys to run man to man. You know, so it's a little bit of everybody in that sense. I don't blame just when I look at the defense, I don't blame just the player personnel. But
Right.
It's a lot of that as well, too. They need to go out there and they need to perform. So, to me, it's not all Eberflus, and that's why I don't want to get rid of a guy. I'd rather him get, you know, oh, you got some personnel, then you didn't perform. Yeah, that's a little different. But to expect him to just take this and run with it it's hard.
Agreed.
But anyways, man, Brian, we went through it. Here we are, you know, plugging away. See, week after week, I think I'm looking forward. Again, I keep looking forward to that horizon for that that Raiders game, that trip.
The Raiders.
You know, we were talking about it.
Yeah, we got Joe DeMassi's going now. Randy McIntyre, me, you, my wife, my wife's friend, or my friend too. Oscar Perini's going to be there. Wade said he's going. You know, so it's gonna be fun, man. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, so I mean, I love where the direction where this football team is going. When I look at the, you know, again, it feels like I'm looking at these games as preseason games where, okay, this personnel, how are they doing? Are they developing? You know, Easy, is he developing? How is he doing? It's not 100%. You know, these guys weren't top 5 picks. They weren't top 10 picks. You know, so it's just like we need to kind of, you know, be realistic about, you know, the expectations for some of these guys. And I really, again, there are a lot of them are ahead of schedule than where I thought they were going to be. And some of them we just need to cut ties with. I mean, again, Mozzie Smith, all those kind of guys. We need to be able to find that it's a loss, even if it's a first round loss, it needs to be cut. You know, it can't, you know, and if somebody else finds it, somebody else does a Cowboy thing, well, we're going to pick up this former first round draft pick. You know, like, you let that be them. So, again, I run around in circles. But, Brian, anything you want to say to the chat before we get out of here? Thank you, Vinny.
No, I think I'm good, brother. Like I said, stay tuned. We'll be doing stuff tomorrow and Sunday. Looking forward to watching the games. Like I said, last week was, you know, it was a great day, but it was kind of nerve wracking. So, it'd be nice to be able to watch the games. I'm not into these primetime games. Again, I'd rather, you get these games over. But another primetime game, so we'll be there.
Yes. Sorry, I like typing something. But anyway, no, we're doing good. Anyway, so Brian, we're out of here. Are you going to do a post game after on your side?
I'm not. I don't think so. I got to be at work early. I don't think I'll do a post game. I might do it. Yeah. We'll figure it out. Maybe I'll do something the next day.
Okay.
So,
all right, sounds good, man. I appreciate everybody coming through. Give us your comments, give us your scores, give us why you disagree or why you agree with some of the stuff that we said. But I appreciate any of the comments, any of the interaction, any of the sharing. So, again, we appreciate all the support for this channel. So, Gametime, I appreciate you coming through, representing once again. And one thing I definitely appreciate all of you guys doing is not forgetting to ring that bell.
Ring that bell.
Yes, it's been a while. I paused there and you sit there
stumbling,
like,
bumbling.
Yeah, anyways.
That was ominous. What the was that? What the is this?
Move it like this, move it like that. Si tú quieres ven para acá o voy para allá. Que me gusta la manera que tú lo mueves, cómo te entregas, cómo lo bailas. Okay, move it like this, move it like that. Si tú quieres ven para acá o voy para
dice que todo se va. Sáquenme la botella que funda para gastarle. Esta noche tú y yo nos vivimos la película. Luces, cámara, la acción, después en mi recámara. En el duelo no se sabe quién ganará. So baile, baby, ese booty retrocede. Que me encanta la manera en que tú lo mueves.
Solo pégate un poquito, mami, que yo quiero enseñarte lo que yo tengo para ti, lo que tengo para ti. Sé que te va a encantar como meto yo.
What the heck was that? Forgot what I was gonna say.